Yosef, what did you want to say? And then Rob will respond to what you were trying to say. And then Ralph will get, Raf, sorry, we'll get you right after.
Yeah, nah, I mean, listen, is I kind of forgot my point, but what I'm trying to say or what I'm trying to
Got
do
it.
is
It
trying to
wasn't that
get.
important. Did you want to ask a question before you go?
No, I was just gonna say that basically that listen, he's sharing his opinion, and I appreciate that. I mean, so
Hello?
yeah, I'm just gonna fall back and let him, just carry on with what he's doing. It's not a contest. It's just a sharing of information. So people will pick up wherever they want to pick up at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm not here to challenge him on anything or anything like that. We're just having a conversation. So yeah, man. Peace to you, brother, and peace to everyone on the panel. Dots, Sister Dots, Sister Freedom, Sister Dawsonaire, and also the other ladies and the gentlemen that just left the panel. Peace.
Peace, brother.
Peace, Yosef. Peace, Rathberg. Am I saying that correctly?
Can I make a quick statement before?
Yeah, go ahead.
You got the flow.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, I heard all y'all building. Rod, I'm a great, big fan. You do great work.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
And yeah, I just wanted to stay. It's a little lag with the audio, so forgive me. But I just wanted to say, we have to realize that we all look the same. We all look the same, but we have different genetics and haplogroups, and like a lot of the Africans are mixed with like Neanderthal and Homo erectus, and so like we have a little bit of different genetic stock here in the Americas that we don't have. I mean, or that the Africans don't have. And another thing is like, and that the first continent to raise up out the water was America from Toronto to about Delaware. It's called like the Laurentian Mountains up in Toronto, and that's all the way down to upper state New York. And so, like, we've been here longer than everyone else. And it was like ancient Americans that moved over to Africa and started those different groups of people and races over in Africa and all the rest of the world. Like, Asians are mixed with human genetics and Denisovan genetics. Africans are mixed with Homo erectus and Neanderthal genetics. And we're like the ones over here in America that's basically only human genetics. So it's like everyone has to understand that we may all look the same, but we have different genetics and different haplogroups that everyone else don't have. And we can't take it from how everyone looks. They look similar with skin tone and hair type and stuff like that. Like we got to get a little more deeper into genetics and stuff like that to really kind of understand like everyone's position and like why they're saying what they're saying, why they feel the way they feel.
And most of them feel the way they feel because of the education they've been given. And the education they've been given has been under the control of the colonizers. And they haven't broke the cognitive dissonance in the revelations of the
Exactly.
reality of different groups of people was always on all of the continents. And they got, like you say, different haplogroups, different genetic strains. But based on the climate of the when the Earth was Tiamat, the climate was different. Everything was tropical. Now we got seasons, and different parts of the planet experience seasons differently, right? And the Darwinian
Yeah.
philosophy that they push, all of the different groups changed from the dark melanated people to the lighter, straighter haired people due to climatic conditions. But we know it was laboratory experiments being done to create worker races of
Yeah.
people. And this is why you got different genetic stocks is different.
Yeah, and I think that's why, like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I think that's why, like, these people that we're calling Caucasians and Asians that have lighter skin and like that, they come up that way because they're showing recessive genetics from those different admixtures of things that were similar to humans. They're hominids, but they're not humans. They're different species, being Neanderthal, Denisovan, Homo erectus, Australopithecus, and that's causing different recessive genes to come up in some of those people that have that admixture that original people don't have.
Well, you got hierarchies of different bloodlines based on a length of stay on the planet. The bloodline known as the Lac Z bloodline is called the immortal
Exactly.
bloodline. Is the mother line mitochondrial link to the soils of the earth, and the mothers of the land can always be genetic tested with the earth to determine if their DNA is compatible with the geography based on their mitochondria. And they'll tell you where they from. She from here. These sisters over here, they can read the earth, talk to them. And that's why Sister Freedom dots them. They can tell by the energy projected by the people from the land is different than the people who not from the land. And most of the time, the people not from the land carries an agenda that's belligerent to us. It's part of the um, propaganda war.
Exactly. And that's like if we would,
I'm not sure why it freezes up on
like
you, but we
if
heard.
we was
Okay.
to give blood transfusion to take blood transfusions from some different people that look like,
I think the ancestors are saying,
yeah, like we can actually die or we could kill them just from having different types of blood, although we look alike.
Yeah, different blood groups.
That's a fact. Well, thank you so much, Raf, for no, sorry if I'm just demolishing your name, but
So
Rafferg.
I think
What? What is it?
no problem. Sorry, y'all. I just wanted to say that and get that off, just because I think we all just got to look a little deeper into like more science, like genetics, biology, and a bunch of other stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Sister Freedom. Let's go ahead and get our last go around.
Peace,
Well,
everybody.
thank you for
Peace,
coming,
peace.
Peace and love.
Ferg. I think. Okay. Well, I
Right.
just say thank you,
What about
Rob.
the other sister? She don't
Always
got a
a
question.
pleasure.
She got to
It's
Nyambi.
always a pleasure because it's always an interesting conversation, and I learn something every single time that you come on. And I hope that you come back soon. Come back again with us. We always have fun when you're on here. And I'm gonna have some real mysterious questions for you next. I gotta look into some stuff and
Okay.
see what you know about the Hindu world. Since that's supposed to be the first religion. But hey, Sword.
Hinduism not a religion.
Oh well, okay. Okay.
There's
Well,
only three religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Those
okay.
are all three Roman controlled constructs.
Mm-hmm. Well,
why do you say Hinduism is not a religion? Why do you say that?
right.
Because Hinduism have so much more than just a religion would have,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they have a lot of. It's really more. The term Hindu is more applicable to the people than the practices of the people. They have what's called spirit science. Spirit science is not the same as religion. Spirit science is supposed to give you keys to liberate your soul. Religion is supposed to lock you down in a self-binding ritual to restrict yourself. They don't have the same purpose at its source. And my
But
phone
don't
about to
you
die.
believe in the caste system?
Yeah, but the caste system has nothing to do with religion. That's
But I'm
some
saying,
Anunnaki shit.
yeah, no, I'm thinking just in terms of balance, right?
Mhm.
In terms of energy. So if there's a segregation of people based on quote unquote class, it doesn't breed balance. It doesn't breed not equality, but equity. It doesn't, it's a unhealthy, unbalanced type of dynamic.
Hinduism was in place long before the caste system.
Correct. Correct.
The caste system is a later addition when the Anunnaki wars, those ones at the top, the royal families, is Enlil children. The ones at the bottom called Dravidians with the afros looking like the Jacksons in the 70s, those Inky kids. They had to take the bottom because Enlil pulled rank on Inky and put his children at the bottom, put Inky children at the bottom and his children on the top.
Mm.
It's the same with Zeus putting Alexander in charge to usurp the Greeks in order to establish Rome. It's the same thing.
Okay.
But the religion came out of Rome as a social control mechanism. The spirit sciences in Hinduism was there before any of the political dynamics of the caste system was established, because it was supposed to be a spiritual community that was originally set up. And that's why a lot of the Sanskrit words have a lot of power in them. Because as long as you're trying to be them, they 100% right. You are an imbecile in a legal jurisdiction. And you keep traversing on their jurisdiction because you don't know no better. As soon as you learn better, you separate. Ain't nobody getting to their trust until we get done with this shit. And then you ain't gonna have to look for what's yours because the order has already been given. Give everybody what they rightfully earned, what they rightfully deserve by the law of right, which is the law of righteousness. Right? So if you took their family shit, this the Jubilee year for you to give it back. We gotta have enough memory of the culture because all of the parts of the story is in our culture, told in song and dance and art. Where a picture worth 1,000 words, where we reading pictures, right? Because we didn't just read the written word. All of our written documents was kept at Big Mama house. So if you go back and you find out that a lot of our elders' birth records got burned up in the town square, in the city hall building, and they all burned them down to get rid of the records. But the records that predate 1492 is kept in caves and national parks so that we can't stumble across them. And then they flood us with misinformation to deliberately mislead the people. And anybody that try to tell us what's going on become marked for death. That's a Steven Seagal Italian knock for you. Marked for death.
In my head, not even in my head, like in my body, in my spirit, whenever, like, all I feel like and all I can sense, the best reference I have is I grew up watching Sailor Moon in Italy, and I've recently had it on in the background just playing, and I'm just blown away by all the symbolism in there to begin with. And all I truly feel and see is like Crystal City. That's where I feel like I'm going next.
Right. The Crystal City is going to land in Colorado on Emerald Lake. It's a jumper ship. That's the Cordoba, the city of gold they couldn't find. Because when the Anunnaki Wars took place, when Enlil launched his power attack on Earth, that's the ship that Enki's son Marduk took to Nibiru. And when Enlil's son Marduk took over Earth, Enki's son Marduk took over Nibiru so that the Enlil won't shoot for his father's seat of power, which would have really been fucked. So when the ship come back, that's where it's going to land. In that county that Emerald Lake is in is called I think it's called Bow County.
Mm-hmm.
And that county is shaped like the Liberty Bell.
So now that I'm talking to you, I actually, when I was a child, like elementary school child, I read a book that talked about this like crater hitting somewhere, creating a lake, and then like these vampires or like other beings came out. And I keep thinking about that book a lot.
What's the name of it?
I don't remember at all, because it was an Italian book too, because I was in Italy at the time. Mm-hmm. But then years
because you know they got books over in Europe that we don't get, we don't have over here, and the information that they put out in the public domain over there is no ways the same as the information we get. When we get Oxford University's History of the World and Georgetown University History of the World, Georgetown is over here, Oxford is over there. But when you look at the history of the world, they tell it two entirely different stories.
That, like, I follow that because I'm assuming it's because, you know, the experience, the life experience that I've had, where I've lived in 3 different continents, and I did go through the Italian educational system. And I say it often, but I haven't really learned anything since I've been in the States. I've learned how to play the system because the universities have always tried to like tell me one thing over the other, as far as like what my progress was. But then I moved to Atlanta. A few years later, I went to visit NOLA for the first time with a girlfriend. We walked into a voodoo shop, and we ended up speaking to a woman who was doing readings, and we ended up speaking to her for hours. And she was reading my friend and like giving her messages and all sorts of things. And then she looks at me, and at that time, plenty of quote unquote weird things had happened in my life, but I never really truly embraced it because my grandma was schizophrenic and my mom has a ton of trauma from it. So it's never really spoken about until I started asking questions recently. But that woman, when she came to me, she just looked at me for a few minutes and she was like, I can't read you. Like, all I'm getting is deep waters. And
that's your mother line's protection, a veil that they put up for the oracles. That should have told her a couple of things. That one, that you come from an earth tribe, because everybody, but your earth tribe is waterbenders. When your birthday?
January 28th. So I'm in Aquarius.
Yep. So you write on the energy signature for that. That's why she couldn't see nothing but the waters.
And I love the water.
So when you go back and you study the customs of old Italy, they had the same Big Mama. You know what I'm talking about? The old lady that make, come here, son, sit down and eat. You're not leaving my house without a plate. That lady, right? That's an earth trait. That's not Anunnaki. We do that on Earth. It's a mother thing to do. And on the feminine planet, you can tell those native, because these women have to feed you before you leave, because if something happened to you, she could have gave you your last meal and received the blessing for feeding you before you went out.
So if she wasn't able to read me, but I also wasn't trying to make it easy for her to read me. I was
I know,
hesitant.
because you wired that way from your life experiences and your genetic memory.
So what about when I do go get readings and they're very on point? Is it because I'm more open?
You participate.
Okay.
Right, because
That
you
makes
have
sense.
to trust the person doing the reading enough to participate, and then they can pick it all up.
Right. And speaking of, Italian ways, a few years ago, I was listening to Imani heavily, and she was talking about she was just not gonna interact with us anymore and stop going live because she was catching a lot of backlash for it. And I remember feeding on
Who is
something.
she?
The hood healer.
Okay, all right, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, because that's how I found you, through her. But this was
She
before
asks
even
good
the
questions too.
What's up?
She asks really good questions.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I saw that live and I was just shook. I was so confused, and not confused at all. Like, it was the weirdest feeling. And luckily I had one person that I could share the video with, and they confirmed a lot of things that I had been feeling, going through my whole life. I'm gonna stop going on live. I'm gonna stop doing the readings. And I freaked out a little bit because she was just like so on point, and like I was receiving her messages and whatever she was saying. But anyways, I go to an artist market, and there's a book there that's called Italian Witchcraft. And I just pick it up